Alright, in this video we'll see how to create a plugin that will show this archive page. It will not just list the list of bikes, it will also allow us to add an inquiry. So let's say I'm going to inquire as a customer. So for the R15 bike, if I click on inquiry and you have to press give some name, let's say a random name and a phone number, and click on submit, and you will get a message saying that enquiry submitted successfully. And now these data can be seen on the back end. You can see in this custom post type called bikes, we have a sub menu called submissions, where we have the people who have inquired information. And not only that, if you wish to add a bike in that particular page, you just need to click on add post. So here the bike I'm going to add is KTM Duke. So this is a name, this is a price, and this is I'm going to set the feature image and click on set feature image, and once it's set, click on publish. So once you make this publish, you should see in the backend the archive page would get created, and in the archive page the KTM Duke is now available. Now as a customer, since it's available on the website, let me give an inquiry. Inquire now, a name and the phone and number to contact, and click on submit. So once you click on submitted successfully, you will see you have given an inquiry, and as an admin or the website owner can see those inquiries on the submission. And inquiry for KTM Duke 200 from the name and from the phone. Now also the time is also available. Along with that, now what we are going to do is we are going to create a plugin from scratch. So this is a CPT plugin, and the list of bikes, the added list of bikes can be seen in this table along with the featured image along with the price. So by default WordPress will only show the title and date, so we have added the image and price field as well. Now without wasting time, let's create a new plugin. So to create a new plugin, what you need to do is you need to get into a plugin folder. I have set up my WordPress locally. Now I'm going to name it as vehicle, and it is recommended to have the same name of your folder name to a PHP file, vehicle.php. Now this is set, we need to add a metadata. So what do you mean by metadata? Metadata is nothing but the information about your plugin, the name of the plugin, the description of the plugin, the version of the plugin, and the author of the plugin. Now for that we need to pass the data. So UI monk vehicle, you can just name it as, and the version number and the author name, and that is enough to show your plugin. So if I click on activate, I need to create a custom post type. So on the init hook, I am registering the custom post type, and I am saying that this should be the icon. By default, the title and thumbnail should have the feature, and it has an archive. So you have to make this archive. That's only when WordPress will create a archive page to list all your bikes. Now let me name it as vehicle, VEHICLE, and name as vehicle, it's vehicles. So this is the label that you see on the sidebar. So if you activate it, and you'll see vehicles on the sidebar. So let me activate this, and the vehicle is there. Now if I click on add new vehicle, you'll just see the default support, which is title and thumbnail. So title is there and thumbnail is also there. I skip this, it's got a little glitch on my PC. And this is set feature image. It's cool. Now we need to add a Metabox. So to add a Metabox, I need to link the Metabox to the CPT. So this is the code for the Metabox. This is the hook, and the Metabox CPT that got linked here, and this is the bike price. This is the title, this is the handle for the WordPress to know, and this is the title that you will see at the top of the text box, and this is a function that will show the HTML input field. So this is the HTML input field. By default, if someone saves the form, and that value should get persist, and for that we have by default what happens is when you click on save, this Metabox data gets stored in the table called WP post meta. Now we are accessing the WP post meta with the help of get post meta, since each post type has assigned a value to it, and we can access that Metabox data that we can access that post data with the help of post ID and the relevant key. So this is the key and the value is whatever you write inside. Now this is enough to show your Metabox. Your box need to declare. Okay, in the previous plugin I have already declared it, so that's what's causing me an error. I have just rename it so to avoid naming conflict, or else I have to deactivate the older plugin. Now you see base bike price, so this is coming from this option. Now what we need to do is when I click on save, I want the Metabox to get saved. So for that we have to attach the save post with the. Now you'll see this save post and this is the CPT name. So save post CPT name and the value. So you can see the name attribute. If it is there, then update. Now if I click on refresh, let's add one bike. So let's say KTM Duke. The price is something like this, and set featured image. So let's set a image. Here it's KTM bike, and set featured image. Click on publish. And now these data should get displayed on the table called vehicles. So by default title and date is showing up. I want the Metabox data or the featured image to show up. So for that we need to call a filter, and this is a filter, and here you need to pass the CPT VEHICLE. Cool. And now once you add that, you will see the title, sorry, column name, image and price shows up, which is what we have defined. Now to display these values, again we have a hook. Since we know these data can be get from the get post meta. Now the CPT name we and that's it. We are getting the post thumbnail, we are getting the post meta. This is the ID and this is the relevant key, and you'll see the data which we have entered shows up. Now we want to create a archive page. So to create an archive page we need Bootstrap. So you see this is a Bootstrap pop-up, and these are cards with the help of Bootstrap. So for that let's call the Bootstrap. The Bootstrap file can be called with the help of enq script. Now we have enq style for the CSS, enq script for the Bootstrap, and I'm making the dependent jQuery. So jQuery will load first, then this Bootstrap file. Similarly we need to create a JS file. So let me create a new file and call it as .js, and again it has a dependency of jQuery. Once jQuery will load, then our custom CSS will load, custom JS will load, and this is the access to your AJAX URL. Usually this is required for safety purpose, or else we can directly access admin-ajax.js. So there are some cases where the plugin will be installed in subdomain. So to give clear access to it, that's why we are using this object. So with the help of this and this, we can access to this URL. I'll show you in the JS part. Now we want to create an archive page. This is the robust way of calling the archive using template include, and if the post type is vehicle, and call this archive page. Let's create a new archive page and call as this name, and this will simply have the loop, while loop, and just it will be displayed in the form of card. Just the point that need to be noted is the button has the post ID of bike, and this is the Bootstrap code for pop-up. Now if I get into this page and click on view, and if I get into the archive page, the archive page is actually vehicle, and it will not show you as of now. Let me just view, and I think I have rewrite the slug. Just change the slug. If we have a slug, so color has post, though it doesn't have any slug dot. So click on view and you'll see vehicle is the archive. Now as of now it doesn't have any style. Now what we need to do is we need to get into the permalink and update the permalink in order to make our archive page show up. So we are rewriting the rules by changing the permalink. Wordpress doesn't default. So if I get into vehicle, which is the archive page, VEHICLE, and now you'll see the card view. And here I need to make sure this is the post type vehicle, and now you will see vehicle. The content which we have added right now shows up. Now this is enough. Now what we need to do is, if I click on inquiry, on button submit, I need to trigger the AJAX. Let's do that. So you see, when I click on the button, what happens is sorry, when I click on the button, the post ID gets stored into the input field. So this is the input field which is hidden by default, and this will have the bike ID. And when I submit the inquiry button, what happens is, I'm creating a AJAX URL. So as I said, we'll be accessing the object and the value to have the admin-ajax.php URL, and this is the action. Action is required in WordPress to identify which hook need to handle this request. I'll show you in a minute. And I'm sending the value from the input field hidden, and this is the name and this is the value. And once we receive the data or the response, you'll see the alert message. Now since we have the action, now we need to set which hook will handle this request. So how are we going to differentiate it? So this is actually the after wp underscore ajax underscore, this is the action. So you see this action is actually over here, and we are receiving the data which is sent through AJAX through super global post variable of PHP, and we are inserting it into a new post called Bike Enquiry, and I'm making it publish. So let's just make a post type called bike entry 2 or vehicle entry. We are creating a new post type and we are making it publish, and this is a post title, and these are the relevant post data. Now just to check, if I refresh it, if the inquiry is previously, it's actually previously defined, we have to change it because it's let's just make this 2 or H, replace all. Cool. Now click an inquiry, and let's say Flash is making an inquiry with this number. Click on submit. If everything goes well, you should get a inquiry submit. Now these data I need to view. So to view that, I need to add a submenu. So to add submenu, again we'll register a post type. So we are registering a post type called vehicle inquiry, and submissions vehicle. These are labeled. This doesn't matter. And the post type is vehicle. Now this submenu will get attached. It's attached to the post type vehicle. Now you see submissions are there. So by default we don't have anything. So when I tried debugging, what happened is, in the action you see UIM underscore save underscore inquiry is the action, but you have changed it to something like this. So again, let's change it to bike enquiry. Save this and let the handle also do it. So let's just change this to both the time this will get called. And let's now try again by hard refreshing it and close this. Let's try oil this time. We don't need this. Vishal number. Click on submit. Sorry. Now you should see the data got submitted. It says 200. Click on it, where you will find again the action is still there. We need to find why the action is this. So it will only work when the action, if you press Ctrl U, yes, it's because this one is similar. That's the reason when I press Ctrl U, the bike -ajax, which is from the previous plugin, which is also active, that gets loaded. So that's the reason I'm getting this. Now if I try changing the handle, let's say -2, and let's try it again. I hope this time it works. Control Shift R, and if I make a refresh and now you see this one shows up. Now let's try sending it again. So it's basically the plugin collide issue, two plugins act at the same time. Now if I make an inquiry for the Royal Enfield and click on submit, and this time let's just see whether the entry shows up. Yes, this time the entry shows up. So along with that, we just need some more metadata. Let's do that. As we have already seen, we have to use the column name. The post type is vehicle in the inquiry, I guess. Yes, this is the vehicle inquiry. So these are the columns that I need. And for data to be fetched from WP post meta, again vehicle inquiry. Now if I make a refresh, you should see the complete setup. Cool. Now let's try adding a vehicle again. So let's add the vehicle called Slender. Add new post. Click on, this is the Slender, and this is the cost of the Slender, and this is the image of the Slender. Select this image and click on publish. So once this is published, you should see, let me open a new tab, you should see a new bike that shows up. So let me make an inquiry on Slender, a random name which is making an inquiry with this phone number. Click on submit. If the data gets saved properly, you will receive a message saying that there is again an error. Let's see what it is. I think let's completely deactivate that plugin. That's again, the function runs 2 times, the AJAX runs 2 times. That's the issue we are facing this. We'll simply deactivate the old plugin. So anyways, in any particular website, you won't activate two plugin at a time which does the same work. So that could definitely cause a issue. Let me add one more vehicle. So let's add a called Activa 6G. Add new post. Activa 6G. The cost of the Activa 6G is 90,000. And let me choose the feature image for the bike. Actually, it's a moped or scooty, you can say. And in the front end, you should see one more bike. Let's make an inquiry for Activa. Click on submit. So the problem is, when you make the handle this -2, you have to make the handle for this JS also -2. Now as we thought, it's working as we needed. Now let's just make an inquiry for let's choose a bike, let's say KTM Duke or Splendor, and flash 5 just for the namesake. And once it's done, you'll see a message saying that the data got saved, inquiry submitted successful. Okay, now let me check into the backend. If I click on submissions, you'll see the name flash 5 has made an inquiry on Splendor by giving his phone number. Cool, that's all for this video. Thank you so much for listening.